If you ever wake up at 3:17 a.m. and find your bedroom door slightly ajar. Not wide open, not shut, just open enough for someone to be watching you. Don't ignore it, because in this story, the door wasn't opening by itself. It was opening because something wanted to come inside. This is the story of Raghav, a 27-year-old software engineer who had just moved into a new rented apartment. It was a quiet, top-floor unit, cheap, clean, and perfect for a single guy. The landlord, a quiet older man, only warned him about one strange thing. He said, the previous tenant left in a real hurry. If you find the bedroom door open at night, don't panic. Raghav just laughed it off. He was a logical person. Ghost stories didn't scare him. The first night was completely normal. The second night was just as peaceful. But on the third night, something changed. At exactly 3:17 a.m., Raghav jolted awake. His breath was sharp, his heart was pounding, and he had the unnerving feeling that someone was watching him. He scanned the room. Everything was dark, silent, and still. Except for one thing. His bedroom door. It was slightly open, just a few inches, as if someone had peeked inside and then slipped away. Raghav got up, his mind racing. He checked the main door lock. He checked every single window. Nothing. Everything was secure. He must have just forgotten to close the bedroom door properly. But the next night, it happened again. And the night after that, and the one after that. Always at exactly 3:17 a.m. He started trying everything he could think of to keep it shut. He locked the door. He pushed his heavy dresser against it. He even wedged a chair under the handle so it was impossible to turn. But nothing worked. The door always found a way to open. The more it happened, the more Raghav started hearing things. Faint whispers that sounded like they were coming from just outside the door. Soft footsteps in the empty hallway, and sometimes a faint, shallow breathing sound right on the other side of the wood. But whenever he got the courage to check, there was never anyone there. The hallway was always empty. One night, getting desperate, he decided to set up a trap. He propped his phone up on a stack of books, pointing it directly at the door, and set it to record while he slept. That night, just like clockwork, at 3:17 a.m., the door began to open. It moved slowly, silently, like someone was pushing it with the gentlest touch, like ghostly fingers were gripping the edge and pulling it inward. But when Raghav watched the footage the next morning, his blood ran cold. The video showed the door moving all on its own. There was no figure, no shadow, no person pushing it. Who's the door opening into the darkness? Raghav tried to rationalize everything. Maybe it was the air pressure in the old building. Maybe the door had loose hinges. Maybe he was having incredibly vivid dreams. He clung to any logical explanation he could find. That is, until the seventh night. This time, the door didn't just creak open. It slammed open, violently, hard enough to shake the entire room and rattle the pictures on his wall. Raghav shot up in bed, his heart hammering against his ribs, pure terror flooding his system. And for the first time, he saw something. Standing in the doorway was a silhouette. It was tall, impossibly thin, and its form seemed to distort and twist in the low light. It was standing perfectly still, right in the doorframe, just watching him. He blinked, his eyes watering from fear, and in that split second, it vanished. The hallway was empty again. The next morning, sleep-deprived and terrified, Raghav stormed down to confront his landlord. "What happened to the guy who lived here before me?" he demanded, his voice shaking. The landlord looked away, hesitating for a long moment before he finally spoke. He used to complain about the same thing," he said softly. "The door opening at 3:17 a.m., the feeling of being watched at night." He left after he started. "Sleepwalking. Raghav asked, confused. The landlord nodded slowly, his eyes dark with a memory he clearly didn't want to relive. "Yes." He said he woke up one night, standing on the very edge of the building's roof, ready to jump, and he said there was a voice right behind him, whispering in his ear. "It's time." A wave of icy dread washed over Raghav. The story was too specific, too chilling to be a coincidence. That night, Raghav refused to even try to sleep. He made a strong pot of coffee, turned on every light in the apartment, and sat on his couch, wide awake, waiting. 3 a.m. came and went. Nothing. 3:10 a.m. passed in silence. The apartment was still, but at exactly 3:17 a.m., something strange happened. Raghav didn't hear the door this time. Instead, he heard breathing. A low, raspy sound, but it wasn't coming from the hallway. It was coming from inside the bedroom with him. Slowly, his body rigid with fear, he turned his head. There, in the far corner of the room, shrouded in the deepest shadows where the light couldn't reach, something was standing, a shape, unmoving. And in the darkness, he could just make out its eyes. 2 faint, glowing spots, fixated on him. Raghav was frozen, unable to scream. Unable to move. The figure took a step forward, out of the shadows, and the closer it came, the colder the room grew, an unnatural chill that seeped into his bones. Then it spoke, a dry, rasping whisper that filled the entire room. It said, "Close the door. I don't like it open." That was it. The spell was broken. Raghav scrambled off the couch and sprinted out of the room. He didn't stop to think. He grabbed his keys from the bowl by the door and ran down the stairs. Barefoot and in his pajamas, he left everything behind his clothes. His new laptop, his wallet, his documents, everything. He ran out into the street and never, ever looked back. But here's the strangest part of the story. The police went to inspect the apartment the next day after the landlord reported it abandoned. When they got there, they found the bedroom door was closed. Not just closed, but locked. From the inside. And Raghav, now miles away, had the only key. To this day, Raghav has no idea what was standing in his room that night, but he knows one thing for sure. The door wasn't opening to let something out. It was opening to let something in, and that night, it didn't want him to leave. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more content like this. Stay safe out there.